Thank you, everybody. It is truly a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. Whether here in person or listening in on the Mountaineer Sports Network, we welcome you in. And joining us this afternoon to share in the retirement of Jerry West's famous number 44 are members of his family, his head coach with the Mountaineers and with the Lakers, the great Fred Schaus. A couple of Jerry's former teammates, WVU President David Hardesty and Director of Athletics Ed Pastalong. Thank you all for being here. You know, folks, greatness is an intangible, something that cannot be touched, but it certainly can be felt. And Jerry West's greatness is still to this day ever present here in the Mountain State. Those who had the privilege to watch him play talk about his performances as if they happened last night. Tales of his wonderful exploits on the hardwood have been handed down from grandfathers to fathers to their children. Just last night, a gentleman from Philippi told me about a great memory, an unforgettable time he spent at Camp Wahoo. It was a summer basketball camp, and Jerry West served as a counselor. And he remembers how young children gathered around Jerry and how gracious that he was, signing autographs, books, and posing for a picture with this man told me he will cherish forever. The question is, how many young West Virginians began their organized basketball careers playing in a Jerry West league? How many driveway jump shots and half-court buzzer beaters were fired up by kids whose wonderful imagination had them wearing the famous number 44? The truth is, if you grew up in West Virginia, if you move to West Virginia, if you visit West Virginia, you become intimately aware of who Jerry West is and what he meant to an entire state. That's the true definition of a legend. It is the byproduct of being the single greatest player in the history of West Virginia University basketball. If you study Jerry West's career, there's one theme that stands out, and that is that of a winner. His high school days at East Bank, where he led the Pioneers to a state championship, an undefeated freshman team here at West Virginia, which would propel the Mountaineers to the NCAA championship game, a gold medal at the 1960 Olympics in Rome, followed by a record-setting career in the NBA, which saw Jerry lead the Lakers to a world championship in 1972, while setting a professional sports team record of 33 consecutive wins. When he stepped down, stopped dribbling the ball, he proved yet again that he was a winner as he put together what became affectionately known as Showtime, and he led the Lakers to 4 more world championships. Most recently, he was named the NBA's Executive of the Year for his current role as president of the Memphis Grizzlies. A winner in every single way, shape, and form. Now, his travels may have taken him literally around the world, but he has never forgotten his state and the wonderful people here that are proud to call him one of their own. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome a Mountain State legend, once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer, number 44, Jerry West.
Congratulations. It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you. I wrote some things down there that I thought I would try to express my appreciation for this incredible honor. The one thing that people always ask me, what was it like to grow up in West Virginia? I said, well, they have the nicest people in the world. But I think the thing that's been so shocking to me over the years has been the incredible support and loyalty that the people have shown me over the years. It's hard for me to believe. I really can't express to you what it felt like to wear the West Virginia University uniform. Every time I wore that uniform, I felt something really special. And it was something that I will never forget. When I competed and wore that number, I competed for the state and for the people, not just for the university. To my teammates, some who have passed away and some who are still living, we all shared the glory of winning and the sadness of losing. And boy, did we ever lose some games that were tough to take. But I think that my days here at the university were the kind of stepping stone for something that I never dreamed possible. When I left here, I left a friend who, if a man can have a soulmate, he's right there, is Willie Akers. He was my male soulmate. We were like brothers, and frankly, that was one of the saddest days of my life to leave him. I had two ladies who we lived with here in Morgantown by the name of Ann and Erlinda Donardi. I know I wouldn't have made it through school here without their support. I was homesick for a town of about 500 people, believe it or not. And they were like my mothers away from home, and to many other athletes who shared that same privilege of living with them. I had some coaches here that I should mention. Our freshman coach, Coach Barnett, George King, Fred Schaus's assistant coach, and Fred Schaus himself, who made me into the player that I became, and more importantly, I guess taught me how to have the correct emotions, how to learn how to lose. I was a terrible loser, by the way. My friends and my new friends, my old friends, all who have been so important in my life, I thank you for your continued support. And lastly, but not least, my family, who endured living with one of the craziest, most competitive people of all time. The highs have been extremely high, and the lows have been at the bottom of the ocean. I would have never have achieved in my life what I've achieved unless I had gone to this university. There's no way. And I can truly tell you that when I walked into that old Fields house down there the nights we played games, I wish that people could have felt what my body felt like. Again, competing for the university and the state at that point in my life, that was the most important mission that I had. And again, I've led a storybook life. Without the support of the people here, without growing up in this state, and with the life lessons you learn. I've learned a lot of them here. And more importantly, from our coaches, I learned a lot, Fred. Fred and I had a little disagreement one time in our lives, and I think he said didn't think I liked him, but I did. And again, without his direction and everyone else who I was associated here with the university, I wouldn't have accomplished very much, that's for sure. But again, my extended family over there, thank you for coming. For all the people here today, I'm sorry I've been a distraction for the Mountaineers, and let's hope that they can kick some, the second half. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we close this ceremony, we've got a very special announcement to make. In addition to having his name and his number on display here at the Coliseum, there's going to be a special reconfiguration of this building's main entrance, the Blue Gate. Thanks to a very gracious gift by the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, Michael Heisley, the Coliseum's main entrance will be reconfigured, and there will be, forever on, a life-size statue of Jerry from his playing days at West Virginia. Number 44 will not be forgotten for his great accomplishments and the great ambassador he is to West Virginia University. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry West.